Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking a look through my collection of 2000 AD and related graphic novels, and these are all from, well, I suppose the very early 80s up till 2005, something like that. So about 25 years worth. I reckon I've got easily about 100 graphic novels here to look at, something along those lines. So quite a bit to get through. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so starting off with this one, which is From Hell, which isn't actually 2000 AD related at all. This was the Alan Moore, Eddie Campbell graphic novel. Well, it came out as comics first of all, and it was a story of Jack the Ripper, no doubt, no less. And this copy was printed on very, very cheap paper, so it's a bit like if you've ever seen the Cerebus, the Aardvark graphic novels. These have done the same. So this is the first time I think this was put into graphic novel, which was back in November 1999. This is it. And since then, 24 years later, it's aged a little bit, and it's as simple as that. But what we'll find, I'll go through these. Here is a non-Dredd one. We'll get to the Dredd ones in just a sec. This is Halo Jones. We'll go through these. And some of them I bought when they came out. Some of them I got second hand. Some of them I've just had literally for decades. And we'll give them all. So inside they shouldn't be too bad, in all honesty. But there may be some, well, they're all going to need a polish. Like that Halo Jones got a little bit of wear there. This one isn't actually a graphic novel, but it's I keep it with my Dredd books. It's like a Judge Dredd history. Got some good stuff in there. Once again, I know we used to sell this in my shop, so I know that copy is really nice, but they're all going to benefit from a bit of a polish, that's for certain. And then here's another sort of related one, the A to Z of Judge Dredd. They're so big, it's difficult to fit into the picture, but I want you to have a little flick through of these interesting ones, you know. They're not all comic strip reprints. Again, that's really nice condition actually, that one's I'm pleased with that. Big old pile going to be happening here. Now this is the very first Judge Dredd graphic novel, and they just reprinted the classic Brian Bolland Judge Death storyline. I mean, this is what, I don't know, this is probably the pinnacle of Judge Dredd in my opinion. This is a very, very early one. In fact, I think, yeah, it's got 295 on the back. I think this is a first printing, albeit a delicate copy of it. Yeah, first edition, June 1981. I believe this is the very, very first Titan Books graphic novel that ever got printed. There it is, and very good it is too. This one I used to have in hardback, and I don't know what happened to that because I've only got this one, which is it's got a bit of a nick there. Obviously a reprint. It's actually got some pen up there as well. Not the greatest of copies of book number 2. So I'm going to put that on my upgrade list. In fact, actually, I flick through that and you can smell the glue. It's that fishy sort of glue. Not very nice indeed. So Judge Dredd book 2, upgrade please. Here's number 3, and this one seems a little, it's got a bit of like a yellowy spine. It's like it's aged a little bit, but this was the absolute classic era for me. Sort of Brian Bolland, there was Carlos Escazera, Ron Smith. I mean, such great artists. Mike McMahon. They were all at it. I mean, 2000 AD was just, it was great. It really was in its heyday. And I hear it's still pretty good today. It's just, you know, you sort of fall out of the habit of buying it, and for me that happened a long time ago. Most of my favourite artists are sadly passed away now, or no longer working. But I think these are great fun to collect, and they're not expensive to find. The actual Dredd, the best way to read Judge Dredd now is the Judge Dredd Chronicles, where they have all the Dredd stories in the ultimate chronological order, so you can read them as they were produced. They include all the stuff from the annuals and things like that, so you can just carry on. And when they went to colour, which is Prog 520, they reprinted them in colour. So it is a great way to to read them, in all honesty. And I think there might be about 30 of those now to get. They are very much recommended, but I just love these. I love the packaging about them and the nostalgia tied to them as well. These were the books that I read as a kid. It was these exact editions, and although I haven't got these other sort of early Titan graphic novels, I wouldn't mind getting hold of them, in all honesty. Particularly the 2 Charlie's War ones. They only ever did 2. And the best of 2000, you got Robo Hunter, ABC Wars, and everything. We got some of these. We have got some of these to look at. And of course, they did a separate Judge Anderson series, which I have got a few of. So we will see those in this video. As I said, we got 3 stacks to get through, so I won't try and dwell too long extolling the benefits of these books, because we know they're great. They really, really are, and that's why I've kept them all these years. So what tended to happen, Titan had the license to do Judge Dredd reprints for a long, long time. They didn't have it forever, but they had it for a long time. And what they did this numbered series, which is up to number 9 and now number 10. But what they would do, in actual fact, it was Judge Dredd, then it was The Cursed Earth, parts 1 and 2, then Judge Caligula 1 and 2, then Judge Dredd book 2, then Judge Death, then Judge Sharp book 1, 2 and 3. So they actually did them in a form of chronological order themselves. However, that's not how I've shelved them. These are just shelved in numerical order, and then A to Z by the book itself. So we will see those as standalone volumes in a minute, and they once again hold a very warm place in my heart, because they're so good. Book 12 here. This one's got, you can see that little Virgin sticker on the back. £4.50 from Virgin for Judge Dredd number 13. And 14. And 15. There's not loads of dust on these, which I'm pleased about, because they have been stored in a perhaps slightly dustier area, shall we say, of the office. But they're better. These are better condition than I expected. At the very end, we have got the 2080 Judge Dredd annuals, which go back to 1981, and I'm not sure what sort of condition those are. I don't think they're too bad, because once again, I was pretty picky when I was picking them up. So they shouldn't be too low grade with a bit of luck. But we'll see. Some of these later ones, I don't remember them quite as well, to be honest. The early ones are almost iconic, aren't they? But these later ones, perhaps not so. I'm not so familiar with them. It's been a long time since I've looked any up to see what they're actually selling for, so I can't imagine they're big money. They certainly weren't when I was putting these together years ago. They were pretty cheap, because, as I said, there are, on paper there are better editions that you can get now if you wanted to read the stories. It's just from a collector's point of view, if you've got the nostalgia like I have with these, you might want to get these original Titan book versions. So See, in the dust, I can see where there's been like little sticker removal marks and stuff. So here's a couple of standalones, which I think they may be slightly out of order, so I'm going to leave those there and carry on with all the numbered ones. I think I may have they may be from the last time I pulled them out and read them, so possibly. So I think it would probably be best to do all the numbered ones first. There's 22 and 23. Simon Bisley cover. This is up to 1988, it says on the front, or 89 even on the back. And 24, another Bisley cover. Just look at the list now. There's 40. There's up to 39 Dredd novels at this point. There was 49 in the Best of 2000 AD series. Then they had already started publishing other science fiction and comic book related stuff like Batman, Swamp Thing, Love and Rockets, Elf Quest, Mobius. Some good stuff there. And the little paperbacks, yeah. And Charlie's War, of course. So they were flying, you could say. And Titan were, and still are, a big force in the reprint market. Number 25 here. And 26. I think to have them all, you probably need even twice what I've got. And I think this is the last numbered one I've got, which is number 27. And look how they do it here. So, Chronicles of Judge Dredd 1 to 27. Cursed Earth 1 and 2. Judge Cal 1 to Judge Shah 1 to 3. Nemesis 1 to 9. Nemesis the Warlock. They can't even list them all individually. There's so many. Right. Wow, so that was the first pile. So what I need to do now is give all these a big old polish. So let me rearrange the camera a moment. Right, here we go then. Got a fresh bit of cloth here. And these are all nice and shiny books, so they should clean up quite nicely, I think, without any trouble. I said, if you ever get a chance to read this, really excellent, highly enjoyable, and it gets you certainly gets you thinking. Many people think Alan Moore is an absolute genius writer, and I am one of them. It's so much of his that I've read that I just love to death, you know. This one wasn't too bad. I think a lot of these have got some dust on, but a few of them will have sticker residue marks and things, so we'll try and pick those up. And some of them, like this, has got a little bit yellowed on the spine, and I don't know why it's aged that way, but it has a little bit. So we'll try and dig this off. I'm pretty sure I bought this from brand new. But yeah, I've never really tried to track all the Titan books down, because I've got sort of what I want, you know. But my favourites, I didn't like all the 2080 strips by any means, but some are most definitely harder to get than others. I think that's certain. But the thing is, with a lot of this stuff now, it's so easy to read in reprint. It's not exactly difficult to get hold of. But definitely, I think, preferable than actually having the original comics, which, although I loved collecting them back in the day, I absolutely loved collecting them. I even had some original artwork for a while, and we used to do lots of them in the shop. We used to sell quite a few. it was they would take up a lot of room, as you can imagine. Yeah, I'm going to put number 2. It's the only one that we've come across that's actually a bit dodgy, which is this one. I might try and track down some of them in hardback a bit more because they're really, really nice. They're very unusual. They can't have had much of a print run. I wonder if number 1 actually had a hardback release at some point, you know. I'm not 100% sure, but might have. Certainly there wasn't like loads of places selling these at the time. You could get them in a few shops, but it was the realms of mail order or places like Forbidden Planet. Certainly during the 80s, you know, the specialist shops would have them. Sometimes some of the bigger shops would have it, like Virgin. You know, Virgin Records would have a few. Not many, but they'd have a few. God, this is actually really dirty, this particular one. Yeah, look at the dirt we've got off them so far. Great cover, that one. Here's Bond again. Yeah, he's just the best. He is the best. clean bit of cloth here in a minute. We picked up quite a bit of dirt. Look at that. That was clean, and we picked up quite a bit off there. More than you might think, because sometimes it's a bit difficult to discern where the rubbish is, but you can sort of feel it. I said these books, some of them are over 40 years old now, which is incredible to think. But because they got colourful covers, you can't really spot the really dirty ones that easily. There's the Charlie's War, absolutely fantastic strip. That young guy going to war in the First World War. Very, very good indeed. There's a lot of real estate to get polishing today. And we have a lot of books. I'm fairly confident we can do them all in one video though, but we'll see how we get on. You would think that the tail end ones in this numbered series wouldn't be quite as bad, and the spines do seem a bit more vibrant and white, so I think it is the earlier ones which have aged a bit the worse for wear. The dirt we're getting off. Now, if I was being really picky, I would be bagging these as well, but I don't want to. I would never see the reason to bag these. I mean, it's not like they're worth a lot of money, because they're not, but they're designed to be pulled off the shelf and dipped into whenever you should please, and you're guaranteed to get some good Judge Dredd action. So I would never bother to bag these myself. That is not what it's all about. These are for reading. And boy, are they good reads. Yeah, I think we may have to split this into 2 videos. It's so much. We're not even halfway yet. And we're already sort of a half an hour in. So I think we'll do this in 2 consecutive parts. While I've got them all here in the studio. And I'll split them into two because there is a lot to get through. As I said, I think some of the annuals are going to need an extra, quite a big bit of work on those. So I hope you don't mind. I think when I first covered these on my main channel, I did over about 4 or 5 videos. But obviously we're talking about the books and the stories in a lot more detail than just giving these a clean, which is what we're doing today. But I sort of underestimated how many was in a pile, because the books are actually quite thin, aren't they? Whew. Right, there's that first pile done. Okay, so this is the start of the second pile, and I think this one's probably quite rare, you know. It's still Titan, but it's the Judge Dredd Colour series. This is the Streets of Mega City. I think they only did one, and these are, as they say, colour. And they reprinted the Judge Dredd stories from the first 2 annuals, which we'll see later on, 81 and 82. I reckon that's probably one of the scarcest ones we'll see today, that, in actual fact. And it's a Judge Dredd. So this was an absolute classic. It was in print for a long, long time. This was the second Judge Death strip. The first was reprinted in Judge Dredd Volume 1. Lovely, lovely Brian Bolland cover. Now this is the start of like the real sort of epic. So you had Blockmania, which led into the Apocalypse War books 1 and book 2, and it was basically the first Judge Dredd mega epic, a real big one. There were multi-part stories before this, and we'll see them in actual fact. Judge Caligula was one, and the Cursed Earth. But this, for me, Blockmania with the Apocalypse War, ran for, you know, over half a year, and it was just magnificent in all its glory. Absolutely brilliant. I did, in actual fact, used to have a page of original art from this story as well, but I had it framed along with a piece of Robo Hunter Sam Slade artwork by Ian Gibson, and they were both framed up, and they were in my bathroom, and they were starting to get looking the worse for wear. They were starting to bubble inside, so I got shot of them. The page I had, see if I can quickly find it, didn't actually feature Judge Dredd. He wasn't in it, but it did have some judges in it, and it cost me at the time 30 quid for the whole page, which is like fantastic. I'm sure I'll be able to remember it if I see it. It featured the Russian judges, I seem to recall. That was it. That was the page I had. Had that as an original artwork. I did sell it. As I said, I bought it for £30. It was signed by the late Carlos Escazera, and the dealer I bought off had a whole pile of them and come straight from the artist. And I thought, yeah, £30, that's pretty good. And I wish I bought more, of course, but I had it framed up, and it was nice. I absolutely loved it. But as I said, it was starting to get a little bit damaged. Where I had it framed, because it was a little bit of moisture got into it, so I just sold it on, and I got maybe about £250 back, so I didn't do badly on it profit wise, but I do wish obviously I still had it nowadays. But like so many things, you can't keep it forever. We are mere custodians of this stuff in a lot of cases, and I think that's something which I've come to learn quite a bit is that, we're just caretakers of a lot of this stuff. I've got a lot of stuff in my collection, but I'm only looking after it short term in the grand scheme of things until it eventually gets moved on by my relatives or by me, and that's why I'm, quite close to selling some of my Star Wars collection now, because it's just got unwieldy and don't really enjoy it anymore. There's no way I can get it out on display, and I want to put my money into other things nowadays, so that's what I shall do. Here's the Judge Dredd. So we actually want book 1 first, which is that one there. Just getting these out makes me want to read them again. I just love them, and they are pretty quick reads, as you can imagine. So that was book 1. The Judge Dredd quest was a three book affair. Another classic Brian Bolland cover there for Prog 173. Look. So good. Wow, and this one I don't remember ever seeing in the flesh. Actually, Jeff Hawke. Wow, but that's pretty scarce, I reckon. Child book 3. A slightly later one now, 1990. Destiny's Angels. Then another mini-series, which was Mega City Vice. And this is the sort of period where I started to slowly but surely go off Dredd. It got a bit too stylized for me in some cases. Some of the artists they were getting, and people like Brian Bolland and that, well, they just became too expensive, I suppose, for the comics to hire them. They weren't very quick either. You needed artists who were quick to draw, and I think consequently it caused a few issues. And for me, 2000 AD in a little way sort of lost its shine a little bit. But it would be quite something to find to enjoy those early ones. And I think what we'll do, I've got just a few more. We'll carry on with this one. So we do Judge Dredd and Oz. We're about almost halfway through the second stack. We're going to need to give all these a polish as well, of course. This is where he goes over to the Australian mega city. There's 3 of those, and then we'll call it a day for today, and we'll get these polished, I think. And that's about halfway through the collection. So, as I said, quite a few Judge Dredd books and related for us to peruse today. Yeah. Right, let me reposition the camera and we'll get these polished off. Right, back to polish these last few then. And we'll finish these off next week. So it has scuppered my my timetable, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These needed doing, and I've definitely enjoyed doing them. Absolutely fantastic to look through these again. They're just knockout. I really, really do love them. Definitely one of the best. Mania leading into the Apocalypse War. So good. classic, The City of the Damned. So yeah, something a little bit different this time around, which I hope you have enjoyed. I don't have much in the way of graphic novels these days, but or comics in general. I do read quite a bit on my tablet, and that's a way to instantly devour a comic or two, which I still like to do. But these were amongst the very first graphic novels I ever bought, and I think I'll be holding on to these for a long time because they're just great. They're really, really good. They've definitely got another couple of reads in them yet, I would hope. So looking ahead, I mean, apart from the second part of all these graphic novels to do, we got about this many, again, Judge Dredd related, and the 2000 AD and Judge Dredd annuals to do as well. I have got obviously some more, lots more. Penguin, Pan, paperback videos where we're cleaning through those epic sort of long haul collections. So they're all sort of penciled in. And I have also got, as I mentioned, I'm going to be probably selling my Star Wars stuff in the next sort of month or so, the at least the toys, the action figure stuff. But that leaves an awful lot of other stuff which is going to need a clean. So if you don't mind, a few of the videos I might actually just clean up some of the vintage Star Wars memorabilia, as it were. So I think we've got a few interesting pieces there that might be warranting a clean. So it might be something a little bit fun, a little bit different, which I'll intermix in with the regular book cleaning videos. A lot of cleaning today. My old arm's aching. I have had some people say, why don't you clean a few of your toys, and that may well be coming up. As well as getting rid of the Star Wars stuff, I am slowly but surely trying to organise my Simpsons toys, and I've got virtually all the I have got all the small size action figures that were ever released originally back in the day for the Simpsons, the World of Springfield. All the mail away ones and premium ones and stuff like this, so they're all going to need a clean, and I'm going to be selling those. I think initially I'll sell them through the channel, I think, rather than go online through Facebook. I'll just do some sales videos, I think would probably be the way to do that. We shall see what might be the best way to do it. Amazing, these Simpsons coming up to 35 years. Amazing. So on the whole, these here weren't too bad. A couple were certainly dirty, and we have definitely improved a few of them, that's for certain. And so far, only one that really stood out as needing upgrading, which Judge Dredd Volume 2 shouldn't be very difficult to find. And I see Judge Dredd number 25 has got a bit of spine damage, which I think has happened whilst the books have been in storage. So not ideal, but once again, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world to find that odd volume. I don't think anyone's ever done a definitive list of what was published by Titan and what format they came out in, because I'd be interested to know if there were more hardbacks, for example. I would be very curious to know that. We have definitely got one or two in this range in hardback to come in the second half. Just a bit too much to do this time round. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and it's been something a little bit different. I like to vary a little bit. Doesn't hurt, does it? Doesn't hurt. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it the thumbs up. If you've not already, please hit that subscribe button. It lets YouTube know you've sort of liked the content, and it spreads the word and gets the channel growing. And don't forget, there's a massive backlog on the channel now. There's, over 100 videos for you to go back and dip into if you should fancy it. I'm not putting any extra polish on this because it's got a slightly more matte cover. I need to tread carefully. But yeah, thank you for watching today. And I shall look forward to seeing you again next week, when we shall crack on with part 2. God, look at that. Look at that dirt. Bye.